Okay, hello YouTube. My name is Patrice, and as you already might read the title, the video is about me buying a house and how I bought a house. Anyway, basically I bought a house, and it's not for a living, so I didn't buy to live in there or to move in or for myself. It's mainly I checked the area, what's around. I bought it to rent out and to make some passive income stream. So, shit. Where do I start from? Basically, I want to make two videos on this, right? One video will be about me buying a house and just talking about the house in general and what my plans to do, what I've been doing since I mentioned it for past like two videos. And the next video will be about how to buy a house in England and how I bought it. Like, I'm not a professional, right? It's my first house I bought to rent out, but I'm just saying that in England anybody can do the same. Like, houses in here are pretty cheap depending on what areas you live in, but in general, right, they're cheap. They're not like 1 million house or something like cost 1 million. I mean, there is areas where you can buy a house for that expensive, but anyway, well, the house cost in general 130,000, and we paid 5%. Yeah, because I didn't buy it on my own. I will tell you about it in a minute. Basically, we paid 5% out of 130,000 to the bank as a mortgage deposit, and that's it. Like, we got the keys for the house about like 2 months in or something like that. We got the keys to the house, and the first thing it was, like, the house was ruined, right? It's 130,000. Even for England, it's cheap price. 130,000 is like, that's dirt, man. And basically what happened is that the house was just ruined. Everything was shitty. I'm gonna roll some videos right now. Basically, this is how it looked right at the start when I came in there, and I recorded everything on my phone. We brought some shit in, everything, how we were fixing it and stuff. Like, you can see that, like, the kitchen is fully ruined. It looks disgusting. The living room is not really a living room. um, all the carpets smelled like piss. I think they had like a rabbit or something in the living room, like a rabbit cage and everything, and it just smelled like piss and shit. Basically, you see the upper room all destroyed, everything destroyed. Everything just looks really bad, right? So 130,000 was for the house, and about extra £5,000 would go on fixing the house and making it like nice and livable. Obviously, buying everything used, and mostly used stuff, well, except like stuff that you can't buy used, like wallpaper. But I'm talking about like kitchen. We will buy a new kitchen, but it will be used kitchen. We'll buy all cupboards and beds and all that stuff, all used. And we bought the house with my brother. I couldn't buy a house on my own because the mortgage, since I'm only 20 years old and I'm not rich, so I was grinding for it quite a long time. But anyway, the bank, they offered me only about 86,000 £86,000 mortgage, so I would not be able to afford the house on my own. If only I buy a flat or something, like a little flat, then I would say I still could make it work. I still could make it have some passive income stream and some portfolio, but like to build my portfolio for future. But I wanted to go for a bit bigger house, so what I just did, I joined up with my brother, and I was like, yo, it will be easier because we both put half in deposit and both put our names on it, so it'll be easier to buy it. So they gave, I don't know, they gave like 60,000 on my brother because my brother, he hasn't been living in UK for that long. So they didn't, well, they're not allowed to trust people that don't live in UK for longer than like 3 years or something like that, I think. I'm out of breath because I've been running downstairs picking up my mic. Anyway, basically, we bought a house. My brother moved in. My brother moved in into one room, and he fixed immediately, as fast as possible. We fixed the upper rooms. I rolled the video right now. It's not the final version, but it's what it was happening and how we fixed it. So 2 up rooms they were fixing, and we refurbished them, renewed them. I don't know how you say it, but whatever you choose. We renewed the rooms, and both of them are rented out already. One of them is already livable in and the person lives in, and another one the person will move in like the next week. The only problem we faced, the major problem, is that there was a problems with like a boiler, with hot water, problems with heating. Sometimes it wouldn't work, sometimes it would work, and there was no Wi-Fi. Short little break, you know what I mean? And so yeah, the house is in a cheap and poor place. As you can tell by the price, 130,000. You wouldn't expect something to be in a rich place, but it's right next to a park, and there is like nursery and school very close to it. There is bus stops very close to it. There is little shops close to it, and it's like, it's a village, right? I'm not sure if I should say where it is. I think I should, but just for a future, just in case. But basically, it's near my town. I need to drive there for 12 miles, so it is still 30 minutes drive for me. So I can't get there every day to help around and do stuff because I need to do work here. And but the town, the tiniest town that they do have, it's not that small. It's alright. It's 20-minute walk away, so you can walk there through a park, and it takes about 20 minutes, and you get to town. There's clothes shops, there's food shops, there's everything town has, right? Everything you need. So that's very close as well. 20-minute walk is nothing. If you have a bike, that will be like, what, 5 minutes on a bike? If you have a car, that will be like 5 minutes on a car because of traffic and shit. Anyway, so it's in a roughly good place, and there's always parking spots left. There's a lot of parking spaces there. What else? There's 2 toilets in the house. It's 2 toilets. It's 3-bedroom house, living room, garden, obviously, everything like that. 1 kitchen. We're gonna break the wall between kitchen and living room and make it a big kitchen living room, you know, together. So there will be a big table right next to it, and then you can cook and put it on a table, neat on a table as you want straight away. The other rooms, they're all gonna be rented out. So there's 4 rooms to 3 or 4. No, wait. Yeah, 4, because we're gonna build in a living room with kitchen where the corridor is. So the living room will be rented out also. So 4 rooms rented out. Since everything needs to be fixed, my brother moved in and he was fixing everything for the money we put together, and mortgage still has to be paid. So right now I'm earning only £200, £216 a month from the house as a passive income. Everything else goes on the house, so it's not as good right now, but only because we need to fix it. As soon as the second person moves in, that will be doubled, a bit more than doubled, because that room is bigger, and you rent it out for expensive. I don't know how in other countries, how in America or anywhere in Canada, whatever, Australia, but in England, especially if you have little house, or if you have only 1 or 2 or 3 houses, right, or flats, whatever they could be, you rather rent out by rooms, because that way you can make more money than renting out the entire house. Of course, when it comes to like, I don't know, 500 unit houses, then you would just rent out the entire house and, you know, don't worry about it. But since it's only my first house, we chose to rent it out by rooms. I did get an offer from a man to rent out the house for £900 a month after it fully fixed, but I said no, because I can make more money renting out by rooms again. Like 1 room brings me £216, and keep in mind that's very cheap, because it would actually cost about £260, but I just let it down since obviously it's not fully fixed yet, and it might be a bit uncomfortable sometimes to go to kitchen when it's being like repainted and everything. And for the first month he paid only half, so even less, because yeah, it's not fixed. I asked him to like not pay full price, even that he was okay with paying the full thing. Also, I knocked off a bit of price for him because he was helping to fix his own room also, like the guy that lives in there. Let's just call him person B, right? So he painted his own room. We gave him all the materials, everything. He painted the rooms, well, his room, and he helped us around the house in general because he's just a nice guy. And yeah, so it's not fully fixed. I have a previous videos and I have like videos after. There's still a lot to fix, but we're almost there. We're getting there. Yesterday we did the kitchen. Kitchen is almost done now. All we need to buy is a new kitchen to fit in. But tiles, everything got changed. Everything looks way nicer. Living room got fully changed as well. All the rooms upstairs, as the master room, everything got fully fixed as well. They all look fine, all look livable. The toilets got repainted, or the toilets look better. The doors look better. We're gonna change the doors eventually though as well, and put locks on them, since it's room renting houses. What? Whatever. Anyway, so in the end, after everything, it will bring me around 400 to 500 pounds as passive income, because we will halve it with my brother, so it will be a bit less. It will be around 450 pounds, because in general it should be around 900 pounds. When everybody moved in and everything is calm, it should be around 900 pounds. Of course, we will put about 100 pounds always away, or maybe a bit less, maybe 50 pounds a month away, in case anything breaks, like a boiler, anything. We'll always have emergency funds to go to fix the house, right? So this is not really a house for me. I'm still living in the same house, right? This is my mom's house. So we bought it with my sister. We didn't really pay any deposit in, since it was a council house at start. And when my mom moved in here, we were living here for like 6 years or something, and all that money, since it's a council house, what they did, after 5 years you're allowed to buy it, and if you choose to buy it, all the money that you pay to rent it out, it goes towards the price. So like we got 50% off almost immediately as soon as we bought the house, so that was amazing. And but my mom lives now back in Ukraine, so I got this house to me, and if anybody moves in, like my brother or my sister, they can move in with me here as well. Okay, so what else do I have to say? I'm really happy. I'm really glad that I started this, because buying houses is expensive and it's hard, right? But at the same time, if you think about it, like as building a passive income stream, if you think about it in England, like if you buy a course, or if you do marketing, online marketing, advertising, if you make any kind of business shop, anything, right? If you sell stuff on Amazon, that all takes up a lot of pressure and a lot of brains. Like you have to know what you're doing. You have to study it. You have to pay a lot of time into it. It's very good, because it's way cheaper to invest in and way cheaper to start, and you can actually make millions out of it, right? But with houses, like, I don't want to be rude or anything, but with little houses like this, it's more for dumber people, right? So if you can't be asked to study, if you can't be asked to look into most of the stuff, you still have to look into real estate, and obviously you have to pick a right place, otherwise nobody will rent it out there, nobody will live in them. But in general, it's way easier to start, except that it's way harder to start money-wise. You need to collect deposit. In England, it would be around 30k, 20k deposit, right? And 10k if you're lucky, and you got 5%, which is very hard to get 5%. We got 5% because it was my first house, and I'm only 20 years old, so the bank was like, let's lock in for life. You know what I mean? So I got 5%, but for other people, they have to pay 20% or 25%, etc. So it's money-wise, it's very hard to start it. Well, only if you can find financiers or investors, somebody to invest into you, but that's very hard as well. I have no idea how to do that. Like, I've read a lot of books and shit about it, and I'm like, so what? Basically, you have to like find people and talk to them yourself, and it's scary, man. Talking to people about their own money and being like, yo, give me your money, I'll look after it. It's scary. Like, I know that a lot of people say that it's actually easy, and a lot of people, like investors, they actually want to invest money into somewhere. But I don't know, I never talked to anybody financially like wealthy, so I wouldn't proper like know how to talk to people. But to buy the house, we got a little help from my brother-in-law. He already has about 6 houses. He's not a professional. but I think he is, and he definitely knows what he's doing. He definitely knows what to look into. When he walks into a house, he looks into the house and he's like, okay, so this is broken. Okay, so the radiators, like the heating will have to be changed. That'll be a lot of money, and blah, 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 this and this and that, right? So he tells you all this stuff, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, yo, boss man, you wanna drop the price by like 5k? If he says no, then you just look for another house. If he says yes, then you drop the price, and then you take that 5k and use it to build the house, to make it, to fix whatever needs to be fixed. So if you have any questions about like, I don't know what questions you can have, but if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments. I'll make sure I'll answer all of them. The house in general is in a town next to me, so I can't go there every day, and the videos might be not perfect and not up to date. Sorry about that, but it is quite a lot of effort to keep going there and back for recording a little bit of footage. But in general, it's all good. Everything works now. Most of the house is almost done. Like, there's just tiny bits that needs to be done, and after that it's all good to go. More people to move in. My brother will move back out here, or maybe even go back to Ukraine, since he will be earning about £400, right? That's after the bills paid and after the mortgage paid, and I'll be earning about £400. So maybe a bit more for me, because I'll be the one that looking after the house and fixing everything, and just fixing everything. Anything that happens, any problems, anybody moves out, I will look for people to move in. So, and he will be just in Ukraine chilling. And keep in mind that like £400 for Ukraine, that's a lot of money, right? That's like for a regular person, average person, that would be 2 months pay. So if he's gonna get like a month pay every month, he's gonna get £400 for doing nothing anymore, right? As soon as we done with the house, as soon as he moves back in, that's it, he's free. That's a good passive income for Ukraine. You can live on that money and with your like family without any problems currently right now. Okay, so I think that's it. That's everything I wanted to say about the house. The next video is going to be about how I bought a house, exactly the steps I went through. So I'm going to talk about, like, it's very simple for me. I wasn't like going to auction and looking for the best price house. I'm not that smart right now. I have no idea how to do real estate. So I asked a person, which is my brother-in-law. He told me, yo, do this. And I'm like, okay, so first I need to go to agency, like a real estate agency. They are everywhere, man. They're in every single town. There's 50 on them at least. You just go to them, you find the best one, best reviewed one, I don't know, because some of them can shag you for money, and you can spend, instead of like spending 5k, you would spend 7k just because they are stupid and they try to, you know, give you some shitty partners or whatever. They'd be like, oh, you should buy this insurance, yeah, you pay extra £3,000, and you'd be like, oh, is that necessary? And they'd be like, yeah, of course it is. And then you pay £3,000, and then it was fully not necessary. So you have to find the best ones. But after that, you talk with them, they show you the houses they have, you pick the best one. So all you have to straight up look for, at least in England, as far as I know, is work. The main thing is work. All Eastern European people, the Romanians, Lithuanians, Russians, Polish, Latvians, all of them, they come for work. We all come here in England to work. Like, even me, I personally came here to live, but my mom came here to work. So when I was a child, I mean. So basically, it has to definitely have work around, at least so you can get there on a bus or a car. And shops, parks around is very good. The shops. The most important thing is town, obviously. The closer it is to town, the easier you will find people. Or to like big supermarkets. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and that will be for the next video, talking about it already. But the next video will be about that, like exactly the steps I went through, and you can even do the same because it's fairly easy. You don't have to worry about too much, especially if you're a first time buyer. It's very easy to buy a house. because banks want you to work with them. But if you're a second time buyer or like a third time buyer, right? If you already have like 2 houses or 1 house, it'll be a lot harder and it gets way more complicated. They will ask for bigger deposits. They will ask for bigger of your paychecks, because they want to see, can you even afford it? And I'm like, yo, I'm renting the house out. I don't need to afford shit. It pays itself. But obviously they still want to see that. They want to see the first steps, first few months, how it's gonna survive and stuff. And just in case everything fails for you, how are you gonna pay for it? So it gets way more complicated. But at start, the first house, it's easy. And I'm gonna say my experience, how exactly I did it. It wasn't hard. It was actually very easy. The only problem was that it actually just took really long. The agencies take long to work. If you wanted to speed up, then you have to pay them extra price, and they'll speed up the process. But it's all minor. It's only gonna like speed it up by like a couple of weeks when you actually wait for keys, like 3 months or something. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, you definitely put them in a comment. As you see, I changed up a little bit and put it up a little bit because I wanted to stand for this video. I don't know, need to change up. Maybe I'll record the next video in my car or something just to change the atmosphere around. And subscribe to my channel, because I know you want to see the next video, don't you? And like this video, because why not? Why, even if you don't like it, just like it, man. Come on, it's not that hard. See you guys later.